You see here a virgin racetrack. This is Charlotte Motor Speedway, Charlotte, North Carolina. 3 million cubic yards of earth were moved to build this incredible mile-and-a-half high-bank asphalt speedway. Engineers reshaped 551 acres of land to sculpt to this home of the World 600, longest stock car race in the world.
It was racetrack promoter Bruton Smith who decided that NASCAR needed an answer to their open-wheel counterparts in their Indianapolis 500. So on June 19, 1960, Joe Lee Johnson took the checkered flag in the first World 600, and with that, stock car racing's longest and most grueling race was born. Since then, the Memorial Day Classic at Charlotte Motor Speedway has been the site of many pieces of NASCAR history. Sarah Christian became the first woman to compete in a NASCAR Cup Series race in the inaugural 600 in 1960. In 1976, a kid from down the road in Indianapolis, North Carolina, named Dale Earnhardt, then known as Ironhead, would make his Cup Series debut before going on to win 7 NASCAR Cup Series championships. Cup champions David Pearson, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Albani, and Matt Kenseth would all score their first career Cup Series victory in the Memorial Day Classic. And of course, the 600 would hold the record for the longest Cup Series race at 619 miles. The 600 as an event serves as one of the last great tests of man and machine.
Jimmy Johnson!
Fucking kidding me.
Preluded by a cacophony of patriotism and homecoming for the entire stock car racing world. Memorial Day Sunday is affectionately known as Motorsports Christmas. It dawns with Formula One's Monaco Grand Prix, headlined by the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500, and capped off with one of NASCAR's crown jewel events. And this Memorial Day Sunday may be one of the most anticipated yet. Big Motor Small Blade presents your Bandwagoner's Guide to the 65th running of the Coca Cola 600. Outside the Daytona 500, this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series event will be the first one since Kansas in 2021 to host a full 40-car field. And it's all thanks to these next 3, the field fillers. First up, we have BJ McLeod in Motorsports Business Management's number 66 Ford. BJ is now just a part-time driver in the Cup Series after selling his charter last year for a whopping $40 million. Full-time Truck Series competitor Ty Dillon was tapped to take over what was formerly known as the Money Team, now Team AmeriVets number 50 Chevrolet, in their debut event. JJ Yaley and NY Racing failed to make this year's Daytona 500, but they returned to the next crown jewel event with a guaranteed spot. JJ scored a career-best second-place finish in the 2007 running of the Coke 600. Only Matt Kenseth in the year 2000 has a rookie ever been triumphant in stock car racing's longest night. These next 5 drivers look to change that. Here are the rookies. Kaz Grala pilots Rick Ware Racing's number 15 car. He only has 18 starts in his Cup Series career, but he already has 2 top 10s. Trackhouse contracted Inspire Motorsports driver Zane Smith as a Cup Series rookie, but not a 600 rookie. He completed all 600 miles last season with an impressive 10th place finish. Carson Hocevar is one of the best hot shoes in the Cup Series. Driving the number 77 car for Spire Motorsports, he scored a top 10 finish at Charlotte's sister track in Texas earlier this season. Leading rookie on the tour, driver number 4, Josh Berry, has a win at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Xfinity Series back in 2022, and is fresh off a season-high 3rd place finish 2 weeks ago at Darlington. New Zealand's Shane Van Gisbergen scored the victory in his Cup Series debut last year at the Chicago Street Race. He makes his first traditional oval start in the Cup Series this weekend, but don't think a 600-mile race will phase SVG, as he's a 3-time winner of Australia's Bathurst 1,000-kilometer race, which equals out to just over 600 miles. Sports betting became legal in the state of North Carolina just a few months ago, and if you're at the 600 this weekend and looking for a long shot, this next crop of drivers is just for you. Second generation driver Harrison Burton makes his 87th NASCAR Cup Series start. He drives the famed 21 car and has scored top 20 finishes in his previous 2 Coca Cola 600s, and the Wood brothers have scored 4 victories in the Crown Jewel event. Colleague Racing's Daniel Hemrick makes his second appearance in the Coca Cola 600. He's the 2021 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion and is hoping to leave his home track of Charlotte with a good result. Another hometown kid, John Hunter Nemechek, drives the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club. John Hunter has a Truck Series win here at Charlotte 600 weekend in 2021. Austin Cindric only has one Cup Series win, but it came in the sport's biggest race, the Daytona 500. The 600, though, hasn't been as kind to driver number 2, as he's never finished inside the top 30. Is Justin Haley NASCAR's most underrated driver? Hell yes! He just scored Rick Ware Racing's first top 10 finish outside a super speedway, and look for him to have another impressive run this weekend in Charlotte. Speaking of underrated drivers, Todd Gilliland has put together a very solid 2024 so far. He's led a career-high 95 laps this season. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. threw a $75,000 haymaker at Kyle Busch following last weekend's All-Star race. The 2023 Daytona 500 champion made his Cup Series debut in the 600 back in 2011. Corey LaJoie is 0 for 249 in the NASCAR Cup Series. He'll have to stack a lot of pennies if he wants to make it 1 for 250 and score Spire Motorsports' second Cup victory. It's safe to say with Stewart-Haas Racing's charter sale for next year that Ryan Preece is fighting for his ride. A strong showing in the Coca Cola 600 would go a long way for the former modified champion. Like Ryan Preece, Chase Briscoe's future at Stewart-Haas Racing is uncertain. He's looking to improve on his 4th place finish here in 2022 and score his second career Cup victory. 600 has produced quite a few surprise winners over the years, but if any of these drivers pull into victory lane, it would be a surprise to no one. These are the contenders. Eric Jones is a 3-time winner in the NASCAR Cup Series, with 2 of those victories coming in one of NASCAR's other crown jewel events, the Southern 500. His 2 co-owners, Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty, have 14 championships between them, with 6 Coke 600 victories. He looks to lean on that experience to add another one of NASCAR's majors to his resume. Michael McDowell has 2 career NASCAR Cup Series victories to his credit, with one coming at Daytona and the other coming at Indianapolis. He enters Charlotte riding the momentum of back-to-back top 10 finishes and a freshly inked deal to drive for Spire Motorsports next season. Noah Gragson has been one of the fastest Fords this season, willing his number 10 car to 5 top 10 finishes in the first 13 races. The fan favorite is reassuring his future whether or not Stewart-Haas Racing lives to see next season. Monterrey, Mexico's Daniel Suarez shoulda, woulda, and coulda won the 2022 edition of the Coca Cola 600. Despite the heartbreak, he's gone on to win 2 NASCAR Cup Series races, including this spectacular 3-wide finish at Atlanta earlier this season. Driving the number 23 car for Michael Jordan, Bubba Wallace also has a pair of NASCAR Cup Series victories on his resume. Bubba should be one of the favorites going into the 600, as Charlotte has historically been a Toyota dominant track. The expectations are always high for Tucson, Arizona's Alex Bowman, as he drives for the sports juggernaut organization Hendrick Motorsports, but he hasn't scored a Cup Series victory in over 2 years. But that win is on the horizon as he scored 8 top 10 finishes so far in 2024. He hopes to join his other 3 teammates and punch his ticket to the playoffs. 7 drivers have scored their first career win in the Coca Cola 600, and Ty Gibbs hopes to make it 8. He knows his way to Charlotte Motor Speedway victory lane, as he has a win here in the Xfinity Series back in 2021. No one in the Cup Series is more determined than Chris Buescher. He's been the final pass for the win in the last 2 Cup Series races, including finishing second in the closest finish in NASCAR history. He looks to make all 30,000 of Prosper, Texas residents proud and win the Coca Cola 600. 8th generation watermelon farmer Ross Chastain led the most laps in the 2022 Coca Cola 600, the same year he captured a Truck Series victory at Charlotte. Nothing would be more refreshing after 600 miles than a cold Busch Light and some freshly smashed watermelon. Tyler Reddick is looking for redemption after fumbling away what would have been a dominating victory at Darlington 2 weeks ago. He's been one of the fastest cars week in and week out, but only has one win to show for it at Talladega. He looks to make Michael Jordan and Carolina proud and show he has the poise to win in stock car racing's longest night. The Coke 600 has not been kind to NASCAR's most popular driver. Chase Elliott would have won this race back in 2020 if it weren't for a botched pit call, and this weekend marks the 1-year anniversary of his infamous crash with Denny Hamlin that left Chase suspended for the next weekend. Chase looks to put all of that in the rearview camera and deliver yet another Coke 600 victory to Rick Hendrick. Christopher Bell has been wildly inconsistent this year. He's got a win at Phoenix, but 5 finishes outside the top 30. But if you look at history, that's just been the MO for this 20 team, and it hasn't stopped them from making back-to-back Championship 4 appearances. A win in the 600 would go a long way in a bid for another run at a championship. 2024 Daytona 500 champion William Byron has 3 victories so far this season, including a win in Hendrick Motorsports' 40th anniversary of their first victory. And if you believe in numerology, William Byron might be your guy, because this weekend in Charlotte is the 30th anniversary of the first win for the 24 car with Jeff Gordon. Joey Logano has struggled all season long, but after last week's win in the All-Star race, he's $1 million richer, and he has 600 reasons to go back-to-back. Joey Logano is a 2-time Cup champion and has won almost everything there is to win in this sport, except the 600. You've met the ones that marvel at the opportunity just to contest the 600, the ones who dream of one day winning it, and the stout crop that can see the pathway to victory just 600 miles away. Now let's meet the ones who have become triumphant and wear the ring that reads 600 winner. Austin Dillon scored his first career Cup Series victory on an economy run in the 2017 edition of the Coke 600. He looks to turn what has been a tumultuous season around at a track he's won at before. Jimmy Johnson has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Coke 600 victories, including 3 in a row from 2003 to 2005. It's been 10 years since Johnson won the 600, and the 7-time champion has struggled with the next-gen car, but he looks to return to the house that Jimmy built, looking for former glory. Bruised but not broken, Kyle Busch has 19 career victories at Charlotte Motor Speedway across NASCAR's top 3 divisions, but only one of those has come in the 600. He looks to add a second Coke 600 victory to go with his pair of Cup Series championship titles. To call Martin Truex Jr.'s 2 wins in the 600 impressive would be an understatement. He led 392 of the 400 laps en route to victory in 2016 and will win the race yet again in 2019, making an amazing comeback after wall contact and a blown tire. The 2017 champion has yet to win in 2024. It's deja vu for defending winner of this race and Cup Series champion Ryan Blaney. He comes into the 600 much like he did last year, winless, but it was this race that kickstarted his championship campaign. 2020 winner and 2012 Cup Series champion Brad Keselowski comes into this year's 600 looking to go back-to-back, as he snapped a 110 race winless streak in the last Cup Series points race 2 weeks ago in Darlington. The longest race in Cup Series history was won by this man, Denny Hamlin. He's got 3 wins on the season, he's one of the favorites for the Cup title, and he'll undoubtedly be hard to beat on Sunday. 8 times the 600 winner has gone on to win the Cup title. Could he be the 9th? Is this Denny's year? John Andretti, Robbie Gordon, Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, and now the greatest race car driver in the world, Kyle Larson. Those 5 men are the only ones to dare and attempt the greatest feat in motorsports: compete and complete the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca Cola 600 in the same day. Kyle Larson rolls off 5th in the greatest spectacle in racing and has won the Coca Cola 600 before in 2021. It's not a question of if Kyle Larson can complete the double, it's can Kyle Larson win the double. All the pomp and circumstance that can only squeeze into a 600-mile race. Tune in to the Coca Cola 600 this Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and let me know down in the comments below who you think will be champion at the end of the 400 laps. And subscribe for more NASCAR and motorsports content.